What is an audio interface, and how is it kind of, sort of, but not really at all, but we're gonna make this analogy work, kind of like a late 90s classic sci-fi film? This is Matt with Podcast Dictionary. I'm here today to help define what an audio interface is. Now, an audio interface is a device that converts analog audio signals into a digital format that can then be sent to your computer to be recorded and then sends the audio back out for you. So the audio interface is how your audio gets into your computer to be recorded. Kind of like how Neo used that phone to get inside the Matrix. Okay, it's a stretch of an analogy, but work with me here. Now, in an audio interface, there's a few important aspects that you're going to be wanting to look into for any kind of audio interface you're considering buying. And those are your inputs, your outputs, and your computer connection. For the most part, they're self-explanatory. Inputs are where you're plugging in your microphone, your recording, your instrument, whatever you're looking to record, they're going to go in your inputs. Outputs are where the sound is coming out from, typically going to maybe a set of monitors that you're listening to, some speakers, or even a set of headphones if there's a headphone monitoring option directly onto it. Another important aspect to think about is the computer connection built onto these. Now that computers are kind of changing, USB-C and Thunderbolt 3 are a thing, you need to be mindful of what your computer has because not every interface will correctly connect to what your computer has on it. Some will adapt with interfaces, some won't. It really depends on the models you're looking into. This Apogee is a Thunderbolt 3 interface, so making sure your computer is Thunderbolt 3 compatible, or else it's not going to work right for you. In most cases, a typical USB type interface will work with computers, whether you need an adapter or a dongle or not, depending on what kind of computer you're running. Something even like this field recorder that I use to record my podcast on, it is a recorder in and of itself, but via USB can be connected to a computer and can record as an interface and transmit the audio directly to a computer for you. Now, depending on the design of your interface, they're going to look a little bit differently, but for the most part, we'll have a few knobs which are going to control your gain for your levels that you're recording. They're also going to have buttons that'll turn on and off phantom power, which if you're using microphones like a shotgun type microphone or a condenser microphone, you'll need that 48 volts of phantom power to adequately power the microphone, and typically a headphone amp on and off or a switch to be able to control those. Those are the typical controls you'll see. Every interface is a little bit different on where they have those, but for the most part, they're across the board and everywhere you're going to come across. Some of the things you want to be considered of when it comes to an audio interface is the channel count and the expandable channel count, which means how many channels of audio can be recorded simultaneously onto an interface. Something like this Apogee has 2 lines of audio built into it where you can plug in 2 microphones or 2 instruments to whatever you need to record, but also has expandability through these optical ports in the back. So you can, with additional gear, expand to record multiple channels of audio if that's something you would need. Most podcasters tend to do well with 2, maybe if you're going to have multiple guests on, maybe looking into a 4-channel audio interface, but that's something you got to figure out what you're looking into and make sure the interface you're considering has those options for you as it's growing. Another thing is software integration. Some interfaces work with PCs, some interfaces work with Mac, some work with both, some are pretty exclusive. So you need to be mindful of what kind of computer you're looking into. If you're looking for something that can record maybe say to a phone or to a computer itself, you got to keep those things in mind because not every interface can do that. Also, integration into certain software. Some interfaces are going to really easily integrate into the recording software, and some even come with bundles of recording software to look into. A lot of starter interfaces you'll consider have a beginning level of a DAW, a digital audio workstation recording software you can get started with. So there's great options there for you. Just something to be considered when you're looking into. One of the most popular interfaces you'll run into is probably the Scarlett 2i2 interface. You'll see those a ton. I'm personally a huge fan of the ID4 series from Audient. It's a great starter interface right now if you're looking into it. This Apogee is a beautiful interface, but definitely a more high-end investment. So if you're looking to do some high-end recordings as well as maybe start a podcast, this could be a phenomenal solution for you. With any gear, I always have the same advice. Use it. Make a choice that's going to fit your needs and to get to going and get comfortable with it. The more you use it, the more comfortable you'll be, and the more you'll know maybe what you do or don't like about an interface. The first one you start off with probably isn't going to be the one you're going to use forever. So you'll probably end up needing to make some adjustments, but you won't know where you'll need to make improvements and where you'll need to invest on your interface until you start. So get started with what you have available to you, make a choice and get to recording, and start using the gear. Start producing your show or your podcast, your stream, your YouTube channel, whatever you're going to be doing. Get to work on it, get to know the gear, and you can go from there. Well, that was it for today. Hope you found this video useful. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, even if you didn't find the Matrix analogy to work too well. If you like these, give them a subscription as well so you can keep up to date with all the tech and learning that we're going to be going through. And I appreciate it. Have a good one.